So hi, what's up guys? My name is Saurav and this is my YouTube channel Data Science Novice. So if you are new to this channel, please do like and subscribe. Your efforts are massively appreciated. So as a side note, this is a lecture series on NLP and I have several playlists on different topics. So if you want to explore, feel free to visit my channel. In this video, we are going to talk about regex that stand for Regular Expression Library, mainly used in text processing like when we have to remove certain pattern or when we have to find a pattern in the text. And in the later part of the video, we will see how to clean the text using regex. So let's get started. So first we have to import the library. Since it is a base package, we do not have to pip install. So I have to just say import.ra and that's all we have to do. So next I'm going to copy paste a small text that we are going to play with. So this is my introduction. So I have done my graduation in chemistry and then I did my master's in operational research. And right now I'm working as a data scientist. So feel free to write me an email if you have some doubt or you want some kind of guidance. And the phone number is not mine, it's just made up number. So don't call me on that number. You may end up calling someone else. So first we are going to learn how to search for a particular pattern. So in this case, suppose I'm going to take a pattern called, let's say we are going to search for masters. Okay, so we are going to find whether I have any master written in this document. So to search for a particular pattern, we have search function in regular expression library. So we just have to call re.search and inside that we have to pass two arguments. First, we have to pass the pattern and the second thing is the document in which we want to find the pattern. So now you can see that it returns this object. So what we are going to do, we are going to save this result in another variable so that we can use the functionality of object oriented programming. So if I call match dot and then I press tab and you can see that we have many functions that we can call and this is something you should explore, but for now we are going to call span. So this function return us the starting and ending point of the pattern where it is found, and we can verify this thing manually. So content and then we have to use indexing. So let's pass 73 and 85 and now you can see that we have master is. So if you want to get the same exact pattern, we just have to use the same indexing, so 74 and 81, and now you can see that we have this masters. So like that we can find any pattern we want. Now suppose if you want to grab only the starting point of the pattern, we can use the start function. So we just have to call this start function. Okay, so I'm getting an oops, that's match. And now you can see that we have 74. Similarly, we can find the ending point of the pattern. So we just have to call match.end and that's all we have to do. Next, we are going to search for another pattern and this time it is going to be chemistry. So we have to save this pattern as a chemistry and then we have to call our research method just like we did earlier. And next we have to pass the pattern and the document in which we want to search the pattern. So the pattern is found at this position. And if you scroll up, you can see that the chemistry is here. So the problem with this search method is it only returns the first match. If we have multiple occurrence of the pattern, it will consider only the first one and reject other ones. So to detect the multiple occurrence of the same pattern, we have another method and it is re.findAll. And it takes same parameter as the search method. So first we have to pass the pattern and then we have to pass the content in which we want to search the pattern. So now if I call this matches variable, it return a list which contains the pattern. So now you can see that the chemistry has been repeated twice. So suppose our document is too long, what we can do, we can call length method to get the number of time the pattern is repeated. So in this case, the pattern is repeated twice. So now we are interested in knowing where these patterns occur in the document. Basically, we want to know the span of these patterns. So for that, we can loop over the findIter method. So for match in re.findIter, and then we have to pass the same parameter. So we pass pattern and then we pass the content. So inside this for loop, we just have to call print statement and inside that we just have to pass match.span. And now you can see that it has given us a span. So just like that, you can grab the starting or end point of the pattern. Next, I want to talk about generalized pattern. So what are generalized pattern? So just to give you an example, country code or phone number of a particular country, roll number of students, employee IDs, They are all generalized pattern, which means that we can create a pattern that can be generalized for all of the phone numbers or student roll numbers, etc. So as of now, we only have one phone number, but you can imagine that we can have multiple phone number in a document. And if we want to find all these pattern, so in that case, we can use generalized pattern. And the benefit of this thing is that we do not have to search for each phone number in the document. The generalized pattern will do this for us. So to create one, we have to make use of identifiers. So let's copy paste this code and let's paste it here. So I'm going to change this pattern. So let me write it and then I will explain you. So the R means that the string is to be treated as a raw string, which means all the escape codes will be ignored. So here we have slash D that represent a single digit. So like that we have 3 slash D, then we have hyphen, and then we have 3 slash D, then we have a hyphen again, and finally we have 4 slash D, which means that our pattern is 3 digit hyphen 3 digit hyphen 4 digit. That makes up to 10 digit. So we have a generalized pattern that can detect all the phone numbers in a document. And again, if we call the span, we can get the location of the pattern. So you can notice that I have used re.search. You can also use find iter if you have multiple phone number. Next, if you want to grab that phone number, we have to call dot group method and it will return us the pattern it has found. So in this case, it has found this phone number. So now let's talk about the problem with this kind of pattern. Suppose we have an ID that contains 100 digits. In that case, we will have to write slash d 100 times. But to save us from this, we have another thing called quantifier. So let me copy paste the same code. And now instead of writing slash d thrice, I just have to write it once. And then I have to use bracket and inside that I have to pass number of time it has repeated. So similarly, I'm going to do this for other as well. So now you see it is better than the previous one. So if I want to get the same result, I just have to call match.group and you can see that we have the same result. Now let's see another variation of this. So sometimes we also have country code with the phone number and sometimes we only want to extract that code. So in that case, we have to group the pattern using brackets. So let's copy paste this code and use brackets to group them. So let's group them into 3 digit, 3 digit and 4 digit. So if I call match.group, we get the phone number. But if inside the group I pass 1, we get this chunk. Similarly, if I pass 2, we get another chunk. And lastly, if I pass 3, then we get the last 4 digit of the number. So now you see how powerful tool it can be. So try to play around with it, do some experiment. Now we are going to learn how to clean the text data using regular expression. And cleaning the text data is essential, just like in case of tabular data. We have to clean the data, like treating missing values and all that thing. And by the way, I have a playlist called Advanced Linear Regression, where I have used different technique to clean the tabular data. So if you are interested, go ahead and watch it. So coming back to the text data, it also follows this thing called garbage in, garbage out. If you feed the garbage to the algorithm, it will spit out garbage, or you can say very poor accuracy. Your result will be not good. So I'm going to copy paste a small text on which we are going to perform the text cleaning. So here we have the text and there are many things that we have to clean. For example, there are way too many spaces at some places. Then we have some words in lower and uppercase as well. For example, if you look at the chemistry or mathematics, you can see that. Then we have some crucial information like phone number, email address that we should not use. Because if you are working in an organization, then these are the customer information that you have to make sure are hidden. Next, we have website URL, or we can say any URLs that are not actually important. So whenever you are feeding it to algorithm, make sure you do not have any URL. And then we have some special character like hash, dollar. So basically some kind of slang that has been hidden using special character. So our task is to clean the data set and we are going to tackle it one by one and then we will build a function. So first we are going to remove all the empty spaces and for that we are going to use re.sub. Sub stands for substitute. So this function takes 3 parameters. So first we have to pass the pattern and here we are going to use identifier. So slash s plus means one or more spaces. Next, we have to pass the pattern with which we want to replace it. So we are going to replace it with a single space. And the third thing we have to pass is the text itself. So you see all the multiple spaces have been converted into single space. So this substitute method look for the spaces, whether they are multiple or single, and replaced it with the single space. So here I'm just saving the string into the same variable so that we don't have to worry about the spaces in the next step. Next, we are going to deal with the URLs because they are not useful, and this is something we are going to explore more in the upcoming tutorials. So I'm going to use the same function for replacing the URLs. So let's copy paste the code. And we are going to make few changes. So first change we have to make is the pattern. So we know that the URL starts with HTTP. So we can use that, and after that we can use another identifier, that is slash capital S plus. So this is going to look for HTTP and the character after this till it finds any spaces. Next, we are going to replace it with the string URL, and you can use anything you want. It is just my way of doing. And now we can see that my website is URL. I could have simply replaced it with the space. And you can do whatever you want to. There is no right and wrong answer for this. And next we are going to hide the crucial information like phone number. And the good thing is we know that what generalized pattern we have to use. So we are going to copy paste that code. Next we are going to use the same function. So let's copy paste it here, and then we are going to make few changes. So first we have to change this pattern. And next we are going to use, instead of calling URL, let's call it XXX. And again, you can use whatever you want to use. It's just not that important. And now you can see that we have my phone number is XXXX. And in upcoming tutorial, I will talk about how they can be useful sometime, because at the end of the day, they are going to convert it into the features. So it's good practice to retain them. Because this way we are able to retain the information that there is a phone number, but we have not exposed it. Next, we are going to deal with email address, and this is going to be very similar to how we dealt with URLs. So let's copy paste the code. So now we replace the pattern. So we remove HTTP, and we know that every email address ends with @gmail.com. So we are going to use this identifier, and after that we are going to write @gmail.com. And now instead of URL, I'm going to replace it with a string YYY. And now we can see that my mail address is YYY. Next, we are going to lowercase the string, and for that we are not going to use regular expression. We are going to use Python function because it is more convenient for us. And now we can see that my mail address is YYY. Next, we are going to lowercase the string. And why do we do this? Because Python is case sensitive. So a capital A and a small a will be different for the Python. But in reality, they are conveying the same meaning. So by lowercasing, we are reducing the redundancy in the data. So for that, we are not going to use regular expression. We are going to use Python function because it is more convenient for us. So text equals to text dot lower, and then we are going to print the text. So here we have the result in lowercase. So whatever step we are doing, make sure that they are logically connected. For example, I replaced the email address with capital Y, and then I'm using lowercasing. If I had done the lowercasing in first place, I had to make sure that I don't introduce any uppercase letter. Next, we are going to discuss about a thing that is very specific to writing style. And you may or may not come across this thing, but I want to discuss about it. So sometimes people write I have, and sometimes they write I apostrophe VE, and there are many example of it, which again is same thing. And this kind of thing happen when we are doing some product review analysis. In that case, we have to keep this thing in mind, as there will be data redundancy. So we are going to replace it with I have, and notice that I am using small I and not the capital I because I have already used the lowercasing, and here you can see the result. And the last thing that I want to talk about is a special character. So sometimes we have the data where people might have used slangs, but they are being replaced by special character like hash, dollar, at the rate, etc. And in this example, we have taken one case as well. So let's replace it. So we are going to use the same function, and by now you must have realized that how useful this function is. So now instead of here, so I'm going to pass the hash and then we are going to replace it with nothing. So let's run this cell, and now you can see that the hash is gone. So like that we can play around, and if I try to pass, let's say pass dollar in this and run it again, and now you can see that it was not able to do this thing. So to detect multiple character, we have to use square bracket, and inside that we have to pass whatever special character you want to pass. So now you can see that it was able to detect hash and dollar all together. And now let's pass the bracket and run this cell again. So now you can see that earlier we had Rome, Italy, and now we have Rome, Italy. So the difference is that we do not have this bracket. So now we can pass as many as special characters. So let's do that. So now you can see that all the special characters are gone. But what happens when we replace it with the word slang? So here we see that it is getting repeated multiple times. So whenever you are trying to clean the data, always do it on a single text so that you know what is happening. And once you are satisfied with all the operation, convert it into a function and apply it on the whole data set. So next I am going to create a function. Since we have discussed all these steps, so what we are going to do, we are just going to make a function using these steps. So I'm just going to copy paste the code. So here we have the function and it takes only one input, that is text itself. And then it does all the operation that we have talked about. And good thing is that you can add as many steps you want. So just build a general text cleaning function and use it on projects. And you can change it according to your project requirement. So let's copy paste the same text to check whether our function is doing things correctly or not. And next we are going to call this function. So first we have to create a variable and then we are going to call the function clean text. And inside that we are just going to pass the text. So let's print out this text. So you can see that it is able to do all the things that we had discussed. Since I forgot to add the code where we have to replace the email address, hence we are seeing the address even after the text cleaning. But don't worry about it, it is already added in GitHub Notebook. So that's all for this video. If you are new to the channel, please do like and subscribe and press the bell icon for the future update. So see you in the next video. Till then, bye, wear a mask and stay safe.